Whether you're brand new to freelancing, adding services to your online business for extra income, or you're years deep into the game, you gotta know this. Since AI arrived, freelancing ain't what it used to be. So today, I'm sharing how to future-proof freelance services in the age of AI. Welcome to Hexotica, a virtual coven of witchy, manifesting creatives and unconventional rebels who are ready to craft the self-reliant AF life of their dreams. I'm your host, Christine Rice, and this is episode 28. Hello, and welcome back, Signets. Welcome to the world of Hexotica. I am so grateful that you are here. If it's your first time in Hexotica, you're in the right place. If you're a pissed off feminist witch who is actively transmuting her rage over the small dick energy currently ruining our planet into personal power and you're monetizing the fuck out of your creativity, welcome. I'm so excited about today's episode because I'm a big believer that freelance services are one of the easiest and fastest ways that you can add a revenue stream to whatever type of business that you're running. So even if you are solidly doing e-commerce with a witchy Etsy shop, or you're doing something completely different, think about adding freelance services as just an extra revenue stream that you can have ongoing in your business to really kick up your regular income. You don't have to do it ongoing like I did with social media management month to month with retainer either. You can just do like an intensive or a VIP day or any kind of thing that you can do in a short burst of time to just inject a lot more money into your business. You could do an intensive to show other people how to set up their Etsy shops, or you could offer it as a service. Whatever it is that you are learning and doing actively now in your business, if you've been doing this for more than a few months, you've already got skills that you can turn around and monetize. Somebody will want to know from you what you've done, how you've done it, if you're a few steps ahead of them. So I want you to listen to this. There's a lot of other information in here besides talking about AI and freelancing itself that I think any business will find super helpful. Whether you're brand new to freelancing or you're years deep, you've probably felt lately that the industry is a battlefield. I mean, to be fair, it's always been kind of a battlefield because you either have like feast or famine, flooded with clients, or you can't get a client and it's just kind of come and go. It's always been a tough field to get into, especially if you are new to it. But since the arrival of AI, it's just coming in and it's replacing thousands of contracted freelancers across many different fields. And it's been hugely disruptive. And so the freelancing industry as a whole has been changing rapidly. And after 9 years working as a freelance social media manager, now turned marketing mentor, one thing is painfully clear to me. Ignoring these changes that AI is making is dangerous. And you can't rely too much on the same channels that you used to use to get clients. And you can't market the same offers and skills, no matter how much of a selling badass you may be or how highly skilled you may be. Staying relevant now requires a marketing revamp, stronger client pipelines, and sharper positioning, especially as AI continues to rise. So what I want to share here is how to play some future-proofing whack-a-mole to help you keep clients coming in and how to stay competitive for years to come. Because if you don't make some of these shifts now, there's a real risk of being edged out sooner than you think. And I'd very much like that to not happen to you, my lovely guts. Getting creative freelance work may feel harder right now, but it's because we're still in a period of retreating, regrouping, and rearming. If you're already doing creative freelance work, then you're probably feeling that things are effing brutal right now, and they have been for a while. Budgets are tighter, platforms are noisier, and the client pipelines that used to work just don't anymore. And on top of that, AI has bulldozed a huge chunk of the entry to mid-level freelance work that once lived on platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook groups, Upwork, and Fiverr. Some skills have just been pummeled to death. On Upwork alone, one analysis found that writing jobs have decreased by 33%. Translation work has decreased by 19%, and customer service jobs have fallen by 16%. However, not all skills are being replaced by AI. And that, lovely guts, is where creative freelancers can strategize now to remain future-proof. We're still in a period of identifying the trends and direction of future AI carnage, right? The freelancers who survive now are not guessing and they're not hating on AI, completely ignoring it. They're paying attention to it. They're watching where demand is shifting and how value is being exchanged differently than it was before. For example, the least affected freelance jobs on Upwork include video editing and production jobs. Those increased by 39%. Graphic design jobs increased by 8% and web design by 10%. Back-end software development jobs also increased to 6%, while front-end went up by 4%. The bad news is, if these skills are going up on Upwork, which is practically like a black market for how little it pays highly skilled freelancers, it means that the value of these skills has changed. For example, hourly wages fell for video editing and production jobs, though more jobs were available. This may be due to a combination of platforms that can speed up the production of videos for social media platforms that now prioritize video content like Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok videos. Though demand for videos is higher, it indicates a baseline increase in quantity, not necessarily in quality. More content, faster production, lower baseline quality. Meanwhile, both the hourly wage and number of jobs in graphic design have increased on Upwork. But when you look closely at what so-called graphic design jobs are in demand there, you'll find things like mid-journey prompt engineer, hardly what I would call a graphic designer from the past. AI is changing the very definition of your work. It has rapidly devalued your work into something different. The value of what you did before has shifted. It's not completely gone. To be a graphic designer today just means the value has changed. So we have to embrace this reality. What your job was before, it no longer exists. It's gone. So how can creative freelancers regroup and rearm from this loss in the job market? How can you, as a creative, ensure that you'll still have a career in a year or 5 years or in 10 years from now? The answer is you don't panic. You reposition and you build a smarter marketing strategy to match, which is exactly why your marketing matters more than ever. So let me cover my top AI-proof marketing tips for you to use circa 2026. So the important thing to do is to not panic, okay? So what we can do is to not change your skills. Don't change your skills. Change your marketing strategy. Now, this is my recommendation. There might be other options out there. You might want to pivot. You might want to change careers. You might want to just focus on other revenue streams for your online business. But I believe that the best thing that you can do is to change and sharpen your marketing strategy. When I mentor freelancers who are struggling with getting clients and they are, having a famine of clients, or they're thinking that maybe AI has taken the jobs, their skills are still great, right? The problem is not their skills. It's how they're positioning and communicating those skills in this rapidly changing market. They are often still trying to use the old channels of marketing. For example, I recently helped a client recover her website's search visibility after it had been massively kicked down because of the rise of AI. So her SEO content wasn't the issue, right? It was high quality, it was well written, and it was technically sound. However, what was missing from it was real visible experience and topical authority. In a post-AI search world, solid content isn't enough. People pay attention to firsthand insight, real examples, and proof that you actually know what you're talking about, right? And that's what comes up in the AI search. Otherwise, your work is just going to get skimmed and people are just going to go straight to the AI for the AI generated content. So, how to stand out is to talk about the things that AI cannot generate. So this is why a lot of these old generic travel blogs got absolutely clobbered after AI came about and the search engine results changed because they weren't including anything personal in these travel blogs. They were very generic. They were like brochures. They looked good on paper, but they lacked personality. They lacked personal opinions. They lacked personal anecdotes. There was no sweary words or street words. It was all very, very textbook, And now with blogs like mine, where, I've got sweary opinions and I've got stances, I use a lot of exclamation points and crazy metaphors. I actually had an increase in my traffic when AI search generation came about. And I think it's because I'm very opinionated. I have a lot of crazy takes and I swear a lot and I have a lot of personal stories, a lot of, firsthand experience. So when I worked with this client, I helped her update her existing posts with real world experiences, case studies, and behind the scenes context. And we removed a lot of the generic filler content that had no authority or personality. And after we did this, her rankings are slowly on the rise again. Slowly because, SEO and AIO are long haul strategies. They do take time. But the direction is clear. They're back on the rise. So the takeaway here is that you don't need to retreat in defeat, right? You just need to adapt. My personal experience is I was a freelancer for 9 years and I mostly got my clients through referrals. So my service website, Christine Rice Creative, please don't go to it right now. It doesn't have a lot of case studies, feedback. It doesn't have all the podcast interviews I've did. I'm now moving the site over to go high level, and there are some services that I have decided to reintroduce, not social media management, but consulting, audits, roadmaps, that kind of thing. And so I'm pulling out all of this old stuff that's just been sitting, collecting dust in a file for years to put it on the website in order for not only to sell the services now because I'm not doing retainer month-to-month client work, but because I know AI is going to scan the site and it's going to be looking for certain things. So here's a hot tip for what I mean. One of the fastest ways to improve how your content performs in AI-driven search is to clearly state how long you've been doing what you do. Experience is a ranking signal now. So that's why I regularly mention my 17 years in online business. It's not just to be braggy and to flex, okay? I mean, it is a little bit, but it's my traffic strategy. So in every piece of content, in every blog post, I'm adding my years of experience. 8 years running an online e-commerce business, 9 years being a social media manager, 17 years, maybe 18 now, working an online business. I'm mentioning this a lot for AIO, AI optimization. It's a very simple thing that you can go and do today. So that's your hot tip. First, we need to make sure that you're not making two classic foundational marketing mistakes. We need to make sure that you're not still tripping over older marketing mistakes before we charge into this new AI riddled frontier, right? And the biggest old marketing mistake that I see freelancers making is vague messaging. By far, this is the biggest mistake I see on most websites and in content online. For example, on their websites, too many freelancers are leading with, "I can help with," which is not a problem by itself, right? It's a problem when it's followed by a long list of things that they do. If you do this, please don't feel bad. I used to do it too. It's a super common classic noob mistake. What I learned the hard way is this. You can still offer a menu of services, But positioning yourself as known for one core skill gets far better results. It improves your trust, it speeds up client decisions, and it strengthens your SEO and AIO visibility. Generic statements like, I am a virtual assistant, or I am a freelance creative, social media manager, or whatever it is, generic label, don't help overwhelmed clients choose you, especially when they're stressed and they're searching for a fast, specific problem. What cuts through the noise here is specificity. This word is my nemesis. Specificity. I think I said it right. Especially when it comes to your front end offer. So this is the offer that people see first when they come to your website. It's the one that you're going to have a price tag on, and it's the one that you want to sell the most of. It's the thing that you are best at, and it's kind of working as a hook. It doesn't mean that it's the only thing that you sell. It's just what is getting people into your world. And then on the back end, you have the menu of all the other services that you sell, and you sell to those in the back end through email and whatnot. All right, so let me explain what I mean by specificity and why it's such a good idea and some of the hesitations that you might have to doing it this way. And an example that I'm going to choose from social media to show you how well this works and why it works so well. Classic marketing mistake number 1 is not crafting specific offers, right? Specifics sell and they convert faster because they give clients exactly what they're looking for in a clear, no-nonsense way. And they give you the clients that you are looking for. When you offer a vague service like, I do a bit of everything, potential clients are left guessing if you can actually solve their problem, which creates hesitation and stalls decisions. So compare this. I offer email marketing support versus Active Campaign migration expert. I'll move you on or off Active Campaign in 14 days. Rates start at $500. That second option works as an exact keyword match for a specific problem. Active Campaign migration. It signals expertise with the use of the word expert, and the well-defined offer removes all uncertainty. Now, this unique positioning gets turbocharged when it is paired with a specific offer. So this Active Campaign migration expert might say something like, I'll migrate your business from MailChimp to Active Campaign in 2 weeks, including automations and templates for $500. This is a great offer that elicits a definite, yes, I need this, or it's a client filtering, no, I don't need that. It removes that uncertainty. It shows expertise, it signals confidence, and it demonstrates exactly what outcome the client will get and how much it costs, all at a glance. This reduces friction, attracts the right clients who already need your solution, and it makes it easier for them to buy and say yes, and it turns them from browsers into paying clients faster. This is what marketicians call a hell yes offer, which is an offer that allows clients and customers to say hell yes if the offer is selling the perfect solution to their specific problem. Okay, so one of the things that people might be worried about is like, okay, well, I do all these other things. I write emails. I do all this other stuff. Why wouldn't I put that on the website? And the reason why is you have to think about your freelance services long term, right? If you start off with everyone wanting to migrate on or off Active Campaign, you're basically filtering out all the clients who might say, oh, I want so-and-so to, migrate my email from my MailChimp to SendGrid. You are saving yourself time in the future by not taking on and attracting clients who are not coming to you for the services that you offer. This will help you scale. The more that you can templatize your services, the faster you can sell them and the faster you can work. So we want to try to narrow the niche, at least with what you are willing to do and highly skilled at doing. You need to kind of be a little bit picky Because if you're offering everything to anyone and you're just taking money where you can get it, that might be a good short-term solution to get money, but it's going to hurt you in the long term. So here's another hot tip. Optimizing your site around a specific in-demand software that your ideal client uses and that you are highly skilled at using yourself is a great search-based traffic strategy. It helps you stand out from generic freelance service sites, especially when paired with your geographic location. For example, Go High Level Email Automation Expert Melbourne. Think in terms of what your ideal client is typing and research as much as you can to work out the top performing keyword phrase. Optimizing your site around the software that you use or prefer to use the most is a great way to stand out from other freelancers who are working in similar fields. So let's get granular now. I'm going to show you how to find freelance creative work online using specific AF offers. Here's how you can use these tips I've shared so far. So if you pay attention to trends and changes, you can learn to spot your dream clients' problems before they blow up on online search. Okay? For example, every time a trusted and popular software hikes its fees or suffers a massive technical snafu and things go to shit, you'll see really angry and upset users complain and commiserate in Facebook groups, right? They'll be begrudgingly declaring that they are leaving the platform, and they are openly sharing and asking for all the pros and cons of all the alternatives to that software out there, right? Now, all those people are going to need help with something that you may know how to do. So by crafting a great offer with the right message, you can stand out from all the other VAs clamoring to help. Bitch sessions online are gold mines for creative freelance work. Freelancers who turn that insight into a clear, keyword-rich offer immediately stand out from everyone else shouting, "I can help," right? "I'm a VA," whatever. You can be like, "I'm the Active Campaign migration, and I know that you hate Active Campaign now because they've just hiked their fees up, so let me help you with that." And when you tell people exactly how much you charge, even if it's a starting ballpark rate, you remove the decision-making hurdles, making it even easier for them to say, "Yes, please, help me, take my money." You may still do all the things that you've always done as a freelancer, but that's how you stand out on the front end online, especially when you pair that with AIO, search optimization for AI. Okay, now let me tell you a little bit about how you can use this on social media. You can be very, very specific and use a niche claim or angle over and over again and get known for that one thing in the search, as well as like a reputation around it, even though all of your services might be for something else. And an example of this, which is very current, and I'm absolutely in love with this lady, another content creator shared how good she is. There is a lady, she was on TikTok, but she's also on Instagram, who does majority of her content around the claim, body count doesn't matter. And she is a relationship life coach, but this is her angle that she uses over and over and over again on her social media to pull people in, because it's a claim that a lot of men, especially the ones that have been listening to too many podcasting bros, are like, "Ooh, what do you mean body count doesn't matter?" And young people, because my generation never talked about body count. It's a totally made up thing in the last 20 years, right? So Chantel Hyde is her name. You have to go and find her. You're going to be thanking me later. Thank me later for her, because she's so much fun to watch. She addresses body count doesn't matter with these people, these mostly men that call in, over and over and over again. And she has a whole framework, and she has all these books that she is selling that she'll spruik at the end and say, "You need to read this book for this problem, this book for this problem." It is magnificent, but it's a really good simplified use of a very specific niche. And it's kind of like an offer, because an offer often comes with a claim, right? And the claim that body count doesn't matter is something that people are going to see for her. Oh, she's solving this problem of men coming to women asking about their body count. So that's just an example. I'll leave the link to her Instagram account in the show notes. You got to go find her. She is just I'm sorry, but you're probably going to lose a couple hours watching her content. She's so entertaining, the way that she speaks to men, especially. All right, moving on. So here's a second marketing mistake that we need to cover to make sure that you are first covering your foundations of good marketing before you compete with AI, right? Classic marketing mistake number 2 is a lack of ballpark price transparency. Now, this mistake I see freelancers make a lot, which is hiding all their prices, all of them. Now, I'm not a fan of listing all of your prices. I think the worst thing you can do as a freelancer is have like a menu of all of your prices on your website, okay? Especially if you're selling high ticket or custom offers. You are going to really like kill yourself with how much more you're going to be working. And if you are building up clients, as I've said in previous podcasts, you need to be charging more for every new client because you're selling your time and you've only got so much time, right? So putting all of your prices on a website is a losing strategy. But on the same token, people get really pissed off when they don't see at least some prices on your website, right? So I think if you're going to sell a high ticket offer, the best way to do that is on a sales call, because that way you can really convey the value of what it is you're selling. But on your website, you should do at least a ballpark figure, right? So this means that you might have something like, I work with clients who are making $10K to $50K a month on blah, 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 blah. That way you're giving people immediately a way to self-filter, right? Sharing a starting point like this, or a rough range at least, it does 3 powerful things, right? So it calms decision fatigue, it repels bad fit leads, and it builds trust faster before the first call even happens, okay? They don't need to get on the call to find out that your minimum with working with people is this much. But here's what I did that I recommend. Offer a set price paid proposal or starter offer for your freelance creative work. A clear first step for all clients who may want to work with you. Let's go from there kind of offer. Something that filters out clients who are not ready to invest at all, but that also gives clients who would like to know what it's like working with you a sample. So for many years on my service website, Christine Rice Creative, currently being reconstructed on Go High Level, I had an initial audit and roadmap service for $300 AUD. So this was a much smaller program, right? It opened the doors to my more comprehensive strategy, which then opened the door to my offering month-to-month, full-on social media management, which was always a custom package. Usually I gave this proposal to them with 3 options too. Now, I also had social media management starting at $1,500 a month as a way to give prospective clients a baseline price to expect when working with me. Now, this is not what I recommend for a digital product-based or coaching business. It's for freelancing. There are other strategies that better suit other business models, but this is what worked best for me when I was a social media manager. We called it a paid proposal or paid starter strategy. Clients don't just want help with something, right? They're craving clarity. And clarity that allows a potential client to easily say yes or no when they are on your website converts better than a menu of many different services with no cost listed. And if you've been listening to this podcast, you know that I'm doing something similar now for the Hexotica online site, which is to offer my audit and treasure map, because it's more on brand to say treasure map, which is basically the same thing that I did for my social media clients for many, many years. It's an audit and a roadmap on where to go with your social media, what's working, what's not working. And I'll leave a link for that offer in the show notes if you are interested in getting an audit from me. All right, so here's how to reposition your creative freelance work for today's market. Now, let's summarize and recap what I've covered so far so that you can take action to future-proof your freelance revenue stream while ensuring that you don't make the same classic marketing mistakes that hold beginner freelancers back. If your usual channels or referrals have been slowing down and it's getting harder out there for you, don't panic, pivot. Here's what I recommend my mentoring clients do instead. Number 1, spend a couple of focused hours on keyword research. Look at what people are actually searching for right now. Number 2, pay attention to trends, tools, and industry drama. Price hikes, platform changes, new regulations, they all equal opportunity. Number 3, create one highly specific offer. One problem, one outcome, one clear price. And number 4, position yourself as the solution. Not a generalist, not a maybe, the answer. Beat your competition who are busy looking for clients and contracts by staying busy looking for problems and positioning. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have a question about any of this, please feel free to shoot it. And as usual, you may know that our secret code for me knowing that you are a listener and that you're appreciating the podcast is for you to leave a hex yeah on the comment of the YouTube video if you're watching it on YouTube or on any of Hexotica's social media. If you leave a hex yeah, then I can find you and I can support your business online. And I would love to do that for you because I'm very, very grateful that you're a listener. So thank you very much. And finally, if you would like to keep in touch with the podcast, don't forget our main primary email for Hexotica is the Inner Sanctum. You can subscribe to the Inner Sanctum by going to inner-sanctum.hexotica.link, and you'll get the weekly updates for every podcast in the blog, the YouTube, and the podcast form. Podcast link will go to Apple if you're watching it on Apple, and you'll keep in touch with me. And there's also a free link there if you'd like to book a call and talk about mentoring with me. It's only available if you're a subscriber to the Inner Sanctum, though. So thank you so much for listening once again, and have a wonderful week. Happy weekend, happy whatever. And I'm getting too excited now. Bye.